2-year anniversary yesterday, the Deshaun Watson trade. Mary Kay Cabot in the Cleveland Plain Dealer, she put out a headline that I thought was pretty damn funny. It said, "The gift that keeps on giving for the Texans, the Deshaun Watson trade, and how the Browns can win this trade." What on earth could the Browns potentially do to even think about winning this trade?
I mean,
they have to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they have to win the Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson.
Or at least get
That's
there.
it. No, that's it. They got to win a Super Bowl. How do you feel about that?
I mean,
I wouldn't even care.
I wouldn't bet on it.
That's true too.
I wouldn't even care if they won it.
I would think that would make it maybe a win-win for both sides.
Yeah, like Figgy said. Yeah.
I don't think the Texans regret making that move.
Hell no.
Here was Steve Smith. So I guess Browns fans, with the arrival of Jerry Jeudy, they have decided that they want Steve Smith to come on their shows. He had a message for the Cleveland media types. This was Steve Smith, former NFL receiver, now with NFL Network.
All y'all Cleveland media need to stop DMing me, stop hitting my representatives, asking would I come on the radio shows and all that stuff to talk about Jerry Jeudy. What y'all need to really start talking about is how the backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns took him to the playoffs. Deshaun Watson is injured, getting back healthy. So stop trying to use me as your clickbait to get people to listen to your show. I want y'all to start just doing your job.
He seems kind of angry about it.
The Deshaun Watson trade with Nick Caserio, I think a number of things happened that made it ideal. First of all, you hit rock bottom. You had Deshaun Watson hanging around, you hit rock bottom. Hitting rock bottom is better than – you can make a case that winning a couple of games is better than winning 6 or 7.
For sure. Yeah, we talked about it.
Sometimes you're in no man's land if that happened. Number two, because of the stuff that happened off the field, you weren't in the market for a quarterback, at least not at the top of the draft in 2021, which is a draft class in which the quarterbacks have just been completely dismantled. They've all been traded. So you kind of got to hold off, and then 2022, there was no quarterback worth taking. And then in 2023, you found yourself at the top, and you got C.J. Stroud, assuming that C.J. Stroud is going to be better. So you actually, not only did the patience pay off, but there was also a little bit of luck sprinkled in that paid off as well. And you can take it to another level and talk about the snowball effect, the Bryce or bust movement that we were talking about that ended up kind of backfiring. That speaks for itself. But there's no possible way that the Texans lose that trade. So it's a wrap. Cleveland can maybe salvage it by reaching heights that they've never reached in their entire life that are difficult to get to. But there's no chance at all, no matter what happens to any of these draft picks or anything, where you look at the Deshaun Watson trade and say, well, the Texans really screwed up there.
Yeah.
They benefited the most out of the trade.
It's a wrap.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You ended up getting Will Anderson, Tank Dell, John Mechie, Christian Harris, Damian Pierce, Kenyon Green, a 2024 first-rounder, a 2024 third-rounder, and Xavier Hutchinson.
Well, you also traded back this year and got the 2 seconds.
You got the second.
So 2 seconds.
2 seconds, yes.
You got the
2025 and the
2025 and the 2024.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
how do you lose that trade?
Snowballing. Can't
lose that trade.
Can't.
And then you talk about luck. Like, you could easily argue that if they didn't make the trade when they did 2 years ago yesterday, I think it became official today, 2 years ago, but either way, they wouldn't have all the chips wouldn't have fallen in such a way that you even get D'Amico Ryans. You know? Like, because they made it then and they hit rock bottom.
Yes.
They got D'Amico Ryans.
And the draft equity was probably part of the appeal.
Exactly.
You had the 2nd and 12th pick.
Yeah.
In the draft.
So you got D'Amico, all those players I just mentioned. Who knows what Nick Caserio's status would be, if you didn't make that trade at that moment in that time, if you settled earlier or held out or went somewhere else, et cetera.
And the reality of it is you bought a window to try to capitalize on a quarterback being on a rookie deal, because I think there'll be a time like 2 years from now where C.J. Stroud is still your biggest strength, but he still can kind of be your biggest obstacle, because unless you're talking about Patrick Mahomes right now, the quarterback making 30%, 40%, whatever they make of the salary cap is one of the biggest hurdles that you have when it comes to building a roster. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily saying that it's the wrong decision to pay the quarterback. It's always the right decision to pay the quarterback, but it becomes much more difficult. And if Deshaun Watson's contract had kicked in, you wouldn't have been able to do all this team building.
Yes, not even close. I mean, you'd be in a situation kind of like, depending on how he's playing, if he's healthy, and what's around him, you'd kind of be like in a Trevor Lawrence situation. You got to pay him; he's paid, but are you that good? I mean, are you good enough to compete at that level? You know, I don't know. I mean, it's an absolute win for the Texans, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what, it's an absolute dub. So there you go. The 2-year anniversary of the trade. And by the way, Deshaun Watson just started throwing this month, too.
He's supposed to be throwing in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So he hadn't quite yet started throwing.
Oh, well.
He's played.
That's a little closer to April. I thought he was throwing in March.
Yeah. He's played. Well, I thought he was ahead of schedule. He's played 12 games the last 2 years. Some for suspension and some for injury. He's played 12 games. I mean, it's a mess in Cleveland right now.
Do you think that Nick Caserio cares how the uniforms get unveiled?
No, I don't think he cares. He's gonna be the company man and say all the right things, but I don't think he really cares. D'Amico might care a little more because he's H-Town and all that stuff.
He's chilling.
I think he's not. It's not like some of the people in PR or Cal and Hannah, but I think he cares.
Figgy, we haven't gotten your take on that. Just the details. Just the details of the uniforms.
How it happened or the actual uniform?
Just the uniforms.
I think they look much better. I feel better about it seeing Nico and
Do you
Tank.
think they're better than the old ones?
I don't. I like the old ones. I have a problem with the old ones. I think the only issue I had was I wish they had a little more of that H-Town blue in it. Now it ain't had to be a lot and all that stuff, but I didn't have an issue with the old uniforms.
And just to be clear, we can talk about the uniform that was revealed now because people are that little, I guess, piping, the big thick on their shoulders.
That was a horn.
Those are horns.
Yeah, those are cool.
I like that part.
Yeah,
I like that part.
I didn't really care for that part.
Really?
No, I ain't really care for it.
It's like on the sleeve. It's not piping. I'm thinking of the word. I can't. But it's sort of like a uniform, a horn that's coming up. Do I like them better than the last ones? The fact that I'm pausing kind of means it's a toss up. How about you?
Yeah, I think they'll grow on me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I do got to understand, like, there's a big age gap between the young kids that are rocking them. Like Tank Dell, Nico, CJ, they're in their early 20s.
Yeah.
So they know what's cool. I'm assuming that they like them a little bit more. I think they're okay.
I think they wanted to put more of the bull.
Should have been a red helmet. Like, period, point blank, end of story. Should have been a red helmet or should have been a white helmet. Mm-hmm. That's my problem.
Like 90% of the time, right? Because they do have a red helmet.
They what?
They do have a red helmet. They wore it last year, right?
But I think it should be the main helmet.
Okay, that's what. Okay.
I think the red helmet should be worn the whole time. I have yet to find one person who didn't like the red helmet.
Yeah.
I think that was a big missed opportunity. Like, that's the same basic ass helmet in a different color.
Yeah, a little darker color.
That's the point.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Now, keep in mind, some fans wanted that classic look.
Yeah, I was about to say, some fans wanted to keep it the same.
You can have the classic look, but put the red helmet on there.
I'm going to be interested to – I got to be careful here. I'm going to be interested to see how fans react to the alternate uniforms. I think that's going to be key to the whole thing.
All right, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Since we're tiptoeing around, they put us in this position. Yeah. This isn't our fault. This isn't our fault. We weren't even going to say we saw them. If you had to rank the uniforms, and we already know that there's 4, where would the one that we saw and that we've seen?
I'm not going to comment on the other 3.
No, but where would it rank among your favorites? I'm not asking you to describe. Where would it rank? You don't even say which one is ahead and which one's what. Where would it rank on your 4?
All right, but you two got to say it too.
Okay.
3rd.
This would be your 3rd favorite?
Yeah.
I would say It's second or third.
Yeah.
Second or third.
Biggie?
See, I look at it as a regular uniform, though. Like, I don't think it's anything spectacular.
But you're ranking them 1 to 4.
Don't say anything
Think about
the
what
other
you
three.
saw. Think about what you saw. Is there any of those other 4 that you like less than these? And this will just, this is an opinion. It's going to change. You're not going to get the same opinion on this. On the
honestly, I would probably say last. Then
this is last.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's regular. I think it's nothing spectacular. I don't think they did
nothing else there was regular.
I think. See, I ain't trying to say too much.
Just look to your left a little bit. Just go back to where we were and look to your left a little bit. You don't think that was worse?
No, you talking about worse.
That one's gonna get killed.
I feel like
that one's gonna get killed.
I felt like the one that was.
I think I know which one.
That one's gonna get slaughtered.
Yeah,
that one's gonna get slaughtered.
But see, the one, the one that was
chopped up like hibachi.
I just feel like the one that was unveiled yesterday is the regular one out of all the other ones.
Really?
Yeah. I
You
think
agree with him?
People couldn't even tell the difference.
Okay.
I think they're third.
People couldn't even tell the difference.
I'll reserve judgment on the other 3, but I think they're third right now.
The other ones, you would probably see a clear difference.
Yeah.
But I just feel like this one was just regular.